Hello everyone, I'm Roseann Sarica Benedict and I'm here today at my listing at 31 Lockwood Road. It's a fabulous 5-bedroom home that's on the market for sale and for rent. And it has, of course I can't always show you all these fabulous rooms doing my cooking demonstration, but it has soaring ceilings, gorgeous fireplace, beautiful eat-in kitchen, and I'm happy to show it to you if you're interested. But in the meantime, I am going to cook pumpkin pie. It's that time of the year, and actually I had a request to make a pumpkin pie. So my husband, Scott, makes pumpkin pie every year for Thanksgiving. And he uses this Moosewood Cookbook. And he got it when he was in college at Oneonta. And that's his thing. He makes the pumpkin pie every year, and he makes delicious pumpkin pies. So since I had a request, I thought I would use his secret recipe. It's not really secret, but he would use his recipe to show you how to make easy pumpkin pie. So the first thing I'm going to say is when you make a pumpkin pie, you can do it with the crust. You can make your own crust, or you can buy a crust. You can buy a frozen crust. You can do a refrigerated crust, or you don't even need to have a crust. There's crustless pumpkin pies, and they're all delicious. Of course, I'm a crust person, so I am going to be using this frozen pumpkin pie shell. However, being that I come from my house with all the materials I need, I forgot the pie shell. So normally I would take this out of the frozen, out of the tin, and I would put it in my own pie dish. That way it looks homemade, although I never lie about it being homemade, but it just looks homemade. So, but for this particular recipe, we're just gonna use the frozen pie shell, and then I'll show you what else we do. So the first thing we're going to do is find my fork. Oh, there it is. So and when Scott makes his pumpkin pie, he uses fresh pumpkin from our Halloween pumpkins. But because I'm doing this before Halloween and I haven't cut my pumpkins yet, I'm going to use canned pumpkin. So 1 can is 3 cups of pumpkin. So you literally try not to cut yourself on the top, and then just pour the 3 cups of pumpkin into a bowl. And very simple. When he does it, he boils the pumpkin, he skins the pumpkin, he mashes the pumpkin, and of course I'm his assistant. But anyway, so it's 3 cups of pumpkin, and then it is 1 can of evaporated milk, and this is, let's see how many ounces, 12 ounces of evaporated milk. He uses, in his recipe, 3 teaspoons of sugar. I'm going to measure for you. Normally, you know me, I don't measure, but 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. 2, 3. And then I'm going to use ginger, and that is 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon, and then rather than use the 1/2 teaspoon, just bring 1/2 teaspoon there. And then the last ingredient here for spices is cloves, and you only use 1/4 teaspoon of, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. Sorry, I was not thinking right. So that's it for spices, and then you need to sweeten it up a bit, and we add 2 tablespoons of molasses. And one of my tricks that I learned, and that I'm going to share with you, is that molasses and honey both stick to whatever it is they're being poured into. So I just spray a little Pam on my tablespoon, and then I stick it in the molasses, and it comes right off the spoon. I don't know if you can see that, but it comes right off the spoon. So that's a great little trick to know about. Okay. Then you add, and I forgot my paper towels in the car. This is probably not going to be the best video I ever made, but nonetheless, hopefully my pie will taste delicious. And then you do 3/4 cup of honey, and in the same situation, I just spray my measuring cup with Pam, and then I pour in 3/4 of a cup, and it comes right out. It's really the best cooking tip I've ever received. Maybe not the best, but it's a pretty good one. So 3/4 a cup of honey. That's that. I love these little bear honey containers. They're so cute, aren't they? And then again, look how easy that came out. It's like, doesn't stick at all. And there's no mess. So that's awesome. I'm gonna just rinse my hands a little bit, even though I have no paper towels. Okay, and then a little bit of salt. And usually they call for, I think, a teaspoonful. Again, I'm not measuring, so that's a good amount. And you mix that all up. I do have a spatula somewhere, have to find that. I'm gonna get my spatula. Found it. Okay, so you mix this up. Normally, I use a whisk, but again, this is the third thing I forgot. You know, and it's a good thing I make lists. I make all kinds of lists. I write them down, I check them twice, and I still forget things. I actually think I know exactly where those 3 items are. I think they're right by my stairs so that I saw them as I was coming down. But c'est la vie. It'll turn out beautifully anyway. So, okay, mix that up. And then we get 4 eggs. And we put 4 eggs in a measuring cup. I'm gonna do this here so you can see. That's 1, 2. Someone commented the last time I cooked on how I crack my eggs. I use egg to egg to crack them. Some people hit them on the side, some people hit them on the counters, but I don't know, that's how I learned how to crack an egg, and it works beautifully for me, so do what works, right? Okay, so just whisk those up a little bit, really quickly, so that they're mixed up. Sorry for the noise, it does make a lot of noise. And then pour that into your pumpkin batter, like so. And mix that up. Oh my God, I wish you could smell this. It's so aromatic between the cinnamon and the cloves and the ginger. It's just really awesome. So, what I'm going to do, so that I don't spill on, I'm very concerned about making a mess in my clients' kitchens. I'm going to use this little jelly roll pan to put the shell on. And then I am just going to pour, I'm just going to make sure I did everything. Pumpkin, honey, molasses, cloves, cinnamon, ginger, salt, evaporated milk, and eggs. Okay, so then I'm just going to pour this into the shell like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, and this is going to make it look like it's a homemade shell. I take the refrigerated pie crust and take it out of the container here, and then I just unroll it like so. And I am not artistic in any way, shape, or form, but I just make little leaves out of the dough. And you can put, you know, little marks in the center, and then put those leaves on your pumpkin pie, and people will be like, oh my God, this looks so amazing, and it's no work whatsoever, right? On the pumpkin pie that I did earlier, I actually did little leaves around the edges, which you'll see in a minute. And then the next thing you do when you have that wonderful pastry on top is just get a little egg wash, so it's egg white and water, and just brush it a little bit like that, because that'll make it look nice and shiny. And you can even do it around your pie shell, because I love when the crust is nice and brown. And then one of the last things you do is sprinkle it with sugar, because that really makes it shine, like that. And we're gonna bake it. It requires 450 for 10 minutes and then 350 for 40 minutes. So I'm gonna put it in and show you what it looks like. Voila, as Julia Child would say. So here's the pie I made a little bit earlier, but this is exactly how that pie would look. Now, as you can see, when I told you earlier, I take it out and I put it in my own pie dish. So this is a glass pie dish. And I just drop the crust in, the frozen crust in, and then I like to have my crust all the way up. So I made some of those little leaves all the way around, and then I have the leaves on top. And it's just something yummy to look at, right? I mean, it's something, you know, pleasing to the eye. And then one of the things I did also is I made sugared cranberries. And these are, when you're cutting the pie, and you take a slice of that out, if you just take these candied cranberries and put them, you know, on top of the pie, by the slice of it, and of course, something you definitely need is whipped cream too, right? So there's nothing like, I'm gonna tell you, I forgot my dish to serve it too, so I'm gonna use the top of the pie thing. But if you just take the pie, you put a little dollop of whipped cream, you put the candied cranberries here like this, and then the slice of pie, everybody will be like, oh my God, it's delicious and looks so amazing. So, and if you want the recipe for the candied cranberries, it's really easy. You just boil a cup of water and a cup of sugar in a pot, make sure it's all dissolved, pour them over the cranberries, let them sit overnight in the refrigerator. The syrup will get really hard. Take them out of the refrigerator, sprinkle them with another cup of sugar, let them sit for like 5 or 6 hours, and then they become these beautiful candied little cranberries, and they're tart and sweet at the same time. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a fabulous Halloween and Thanksgiving down the road, and thank you so much for watching my video. Enjoy the day.